Madison Cawthorne. We know him. We love him. Except we don't love him. And neither do Republicans, because he has lied so much and made them look so bad that he is hated on both the left and the right and even center. For those of you who don't know who Madison Cawthorne is or any of his controversies, let's just go through them all. The 26-year-old freshman lawmaker who was elected to represent North Carolina's 11th congressional district in the U.S. House of Representatives to fill a vacancy left by White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows in 2020 has been the center of a series of scandals in the lead-up to primary on May 17th. This year alone, he is alleged to have been invited to orgies in Washington and said he saw people do cocaine, prompting a stern rebuke from senior House Republican. He's been cited for bringing a firearm to Transportation Security Administration checkpoints in Charlotte and called Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky a thug and the Ukrainian government evil in a video. And Senator Tom Tillis on Wednesday called for a House Ethics Committee investigation into Cawthorne over allegations of insider trading. Wow, that's already a mouthful. I mean, that's already insane. But oh, cool. Let's get this ad out of here. Fuck you. Here's a list of the controversies he's been in since he was elected, since November. Let's just go ahead with the January 6th incident. Cawthorne attended the January 6, 2021 Save America rally, which former President Trump also addressed ahead of the attack on the Capitol. The rally was organized as part of an effort to challenge the 2020 election results and based on unsubstantial claims of widespread voter fraud. At the event, Cawthorne said, "This crowd has got some fight in it. The Republicans hiding and not fighting, they're trying to silence your voice. We are not doing this just for Donald Trump. We're doing this for the Constitution." February 5th says he does not regret speaking at the January 6th rally. Cawthorne said in February 2021 that he did not regret speaking at the January 6th Stop the Steal rally ahead of the pro-Trump insurrection at the Capitol, saying the rioters were unable to check their worst impulses and had very little self-control. In an interview on the Carlos Watson Show shared with The Hill, Watson, co-founder and CEO of media company Ozzy, asked Cawthorne if they had any second thoughts about his participation in the rally after looking at the violence that took place at the Capitol, which resulted in the death of 5 people. "I don't regret it, actually, Carlos," Cawthorne said. "Obviously, I think what happened on January 6th was despicable. I thought it was conducted by weak-minded men and women who are unable to check their worst impulses and had very little self-control. Completely condemn it. But when I did go speak at the rally, I was trying specifically to get across to the people that, hey, I am in Congress. I'm going down to the Capitol right now to speak on your behalf," he added in the interview. August 30th, 2021, calls January 6 rioters political hostages. He described those in law enforcement custody for allegedly storming the Capitol on January 6 in an attempt to stop the Congress from certifying President Joe Biden's election victory as political hostages, while reiterating false claims that the 2020 election was stolen. Cawthorne made the remarks during an event in August 2021 that was streamed on Facebook by the Macon County Republican Party. "I'll tell you, anyone who tells you that Joe Biden was dutifully elected is lying," Cawthorne said. Cawthorne later raised the threat of political violence if people continue to believe that elections are stolen. "If our election systems continue to be rigged and continue to be stolen, it's going to lead to one place, and it's bloodshed," said Cawthorne. Luke Ball, a spokesman for Cawthorne, later said that the lawmaker wants to due process for the prisoners and was not advocating for any form of illegal action, only that they received full due process. February 1st, 2022, sues over the effort to disqualify his re-election bid. Cawthorne in February filed for a federal lawsuit against members of North Carolina State Board of Elections over the effort to disqualify him for running for re-election because of his involvement in the rally that took place soon before January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol. He called the challenge filed by 11 members of the body in January unconstitutional. Running for office is not only a great privilege, it is a right protected under the Constitution, Cawthorne said in a statement. I love this country and have never engaged in or would never engage in insurrection against the United States. Funnily enough, Marjorie Taylor Greene is also facing a similar lawsuit, and it's not going well for her. But let's just continue with this. February 2nd, the next day, insults Biden over troop deployment. He called President Biden an inept geriatric despot in a speech on the House floor in February, 2 weeks before the Russian invasion of the Ukraine. He was criticizing the U.S. deployment of 3,000 troops to Eastern European allied countries. Madam Speaker, the sons and daughters of America are not foot soldiers for your party's inept geriatric despot. They are not expendable pawns to be dispatched at the whims of an idiot, tossed carelessly around the world to God-forsaken caves and bloody sandboxes. They are Americans, worthy of honor and dignity. The only salute from them Joe Biden deserves involves one finger, he said. March 9th, 2021, charged with driving with a suspended license. Cawthorne was charged with driving with a revoked license after being pulled over in March by a highway patrol. The Asheville Citizen-Times reported that Cawthorne was facing 3 citations for incidents occurring across 3 counties in North Carolina. Along with being pulled over on a revoked license, Cawthorne has 2 pending citations for speeding in Buncombe and Polk counties. He was previously charged with driving after having his license taken away in 2017 before he was elected to the House. The maximum sentence for driving without a license is 20 days in jail, though a fine or probation is usually issued instead. March 2022, calls Zelensky a thug. Cawthorne called Ukrainian President Zelensky a thug and the Ukrainian government evil in a video obtained and published by North Carolina station WRAL. Remember that Zelensky is a thug, Cawthorne said in the undated recording. Remember that the Ukrainian government is incredibly corrupt and incredibly evil and has been pushing woke ideologies. When reached for comment by The Hill, a spokesman for Cawthorne did not answer questions about when or where the comments took place, but sent a link to a tweet the congressman posted saying, "This thread explains what point he made in those remarks." Cawthorne's tweet contained a link to an article called World War Reddit, where he said, "Propaganda is being used to entice America into another war. I do not want Americans dying because emotions push us into conflict." March 28, 2022, makes claims about orgies in Washington. Cawthorne frustrated his GOP colleagues after he appeared on the Warrior Poet Society podcast and said that Netflix television drama House of Cards was not far from reality. All of a sudden you get invited to, well, hey, we're going to have a kind of sexual get-together at one of our homes. You should come. You realize they are asking you to come to an orgy, Cawthorne said. He added that he has seen people who advocate against addiction doing key bumps of cocaine. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy later said Cawthorne gave him no evidence to back up his statements. He said the explanation for the cocaine allegation was that he thinks he saw maybe a staffer in the parking garage from 100 yards away. This is unacceptable. There's no evidence to this, McCarthy said. That's not becoming of a congressman. He did not tell the truth. April 12th, 2022, hit with allegations from secretly recording phone calls. Former district staff member of Cawthorne accused him of improperly firing her after denying her family and medical leave. Both allegations the lawmaker and the office have denied. Lisa Wiggins, who was a caseworker for the 26-year-old first-term representative in his district office for over a year, described that office as having more liquor bottles than they do water bottles in a call. However, Cawthorne's office insinuated that the allegations made in secretly recorded and released conversation with the head of an anti-Cawthorne PAC were politically motivated and hinted at potential counteraction by saying that they constitute defamation of character. Here's the one that has got people talking and that I wanted to address the most. Politico obtained and published undated photos of the North Carolina Republican in women's lingerie at a party. While Cawthorne acknowledged the photos in a tweet, he shared that they were from a vacation on a cruise and were taken before he ran for public office. I guess the left thinks goofy vacation photos during a game on a cruise, taken way before I ran for Congress, is going to somehow hurt me, Cawthorne said. They're running out of things to throw at me. Are they? Because 4 days later, Cawthorne was cited in late April for trying to bring loaded gun through a TSA checkpoint at the Charlotte Douglas International Airport. The exact citation has been classified as a weapon law violation. Representative Bernie Thomas and Bonnie Watson, in a letter, asked TSA to take action against Cawthorne for his incident involving a firearm at an airport checkpoint. They urged the TSA to act decisively and ensure repeat offenders like Cawthorne face the full extent of TSA's enforcement actions. And then a day after that, this week, Senator Thom Tillis has called for an investigation by the House Ethics Committee into allegations that Cawthorne violated federal insider trading laws. Insider trading by a member of Congress is a serious betrayal of their oath, and Congressman Cawthorne owes North Carolinians an explanation. There needs to be a thorough and bipartisan inquiry into this matter by the House Ethics Committee, Tillis tweeted. A Washington Examiner report citing multiple watchdog groups said that Cawthorne may have violated insider trading laws in the course of his support for the Let's Go Brandon cryptocurrency. Tillis has come out in support of a primary challenger to Cawthorne State Senate Chuck Edwards in recent weeks. And it just doesn't stop. Cawthorne has since accused the establishment of launching a coordinated drip campaign against him as the battle for his seat in the Republican primary heats up. They're going to drop an attack article every 1 or 2 days just to try and kill us with a death by 1,000 cuts. And that is really their main strategy, Cawthorne said late Tuesday night on his Instagram account. In a 2-minute video, the first-term lawmaker said that statistically, it's virtually impossible to beat an incumbent member of Congress after they won their first re-election. He added that it is why you're starting to see a coordinated attack against a lot of the first-term members of Congress who are hardcore conservatives going for re-election across the country. Holy shit, that is tiring just to go through all of that. So that's basically everything that he's done up until this point. But yeah, the thing that got people talking about him the most was the lingerie. And although it's just lingerie, I don't really give a shit. I just think it's funny that that this man was very pro don't say gay bill and then was in women's lingerie. Haha, I love it. But it's so funny to me because Cawthorne is a problem for the Republican Party. And he's a problem that they made themselves. He is the average QAnon conspiracy voter. He is the average Marjorie Taylor Greene fan, the average Gates fan, the average Bobart fan. He is that. He's insane, he's crazy, and reckless. And hey, that's exactly what conservatives thrive on at this point. That's their voter base, who are so fervently for them. And yeah, now they see how that's a problem, because now it's messing with what they can do politically. And I personally am a fan, I like that. Because it shows how fucking insane they are, both to them and to the outside looking in. So, big ups to Cawthorne for being such an insane man. You know what? Shout out to him.